Hi, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to do my Project 10 Uses update. It's been about a week since I filmed, so I'm sorry about that. I took a little bit of a hiatus on my filming schedule and my account. And not really for any reason, just because life got busy. So I'm back and I have been trying to get 10 uses on most of these items. I have quite a lot rolling out, but I am disappointed on some items. I just feel like this month I struggled with my eyeshadow palettes. I have been so overwhelmed with how many shadows I'm working on in terms of trying to hit pan and also doing a no pan left behind with all of these. It's been a lot. My project level up really drove me mad this month, and I totally neglected a lot of my projects, and this is one of the ones that I neglected in terms of eyeshadows. So it is what it is, but I do have quite a lot of products rolling out. I've used them 10 times or more, and the way that I do this is it's a Project 10 Uses. These items were all pulled in my Shop My Stash video, so what I'm going to do after I film this is film my Shop My Stash. I usually do a little get it ready with me, so I'll probably do that tomorrow, but I'll post that. That'll be the next video that goes live on my channel. So you'll see which items I'm going to be rolling in to my Project 10 Uses. That's just how I've split it up. Otherwise, these videos tended to be very long and a little bit too long for the average viewer. So even myself included, just editing it is just like atrocious. Anyway, let's get into it. So let's start with all of the items that I'm going to be rolling out. I'll start with this. This is the Gubby shade from Urban Decay, and it is a pretty sheer lipstick. I needed to use this 5 more times this month because I used it 5 times last time, and I have now, so I've used it a total 10 times, so that one is going to be rolling out. It's very exciting when I am able to roll out a lip product because I'm not very good at using them 10 times, so that for me is like a big win. Next up, I've got my Glowish. This is the Caring Coral. I used this 6 times this month, used it 4 times last month, so it's a total of 10. I actually just used it the last time today. I really love this blush. Every time I use it, I'm reminded how beautiful it is. It's really stunning. Then I've got these two rolling out. So I've got my ColourPop Creme Gel, and this is the Bay Breeze. This one I have used 6 times this month. I used it 4 times last month, so that one's rolling out. And then I've also got my Rodial black eyeliner here. This is just a pencil, and I really like this. I've sharpened it a few times as I've used it because it's very creamy. And this one I needed to use 7 times. I've used it 8 times this month. So I've used it 11 times in total, so go me. Then I've got my Charlotte Tilbury Cream Bronzer. This actually has rolled in to my 50 Shades of Yellow / Gold, and I am trying to hit pan on it, but it is rolling out of this particular project. And this one I have used a total of 10 times exactly. And as you can see, I've not hit pan yet, so there's no spoiler at all, but obviously I'm going to carry on working on it. It is definitely, I want to say, my favorite cream blush that I have right now. I do think I'm close to hitting pan. I mean, I've seen some other people who have hit pan on this. I know Paulina Beauty has, and it doesn't look that deep, so I think I could do it. But that one's rolling out of the Project 10 Uses. Next up, I've got my Kiko Milano blush. This is the Tuscan Iris. I have used this a total of 10 times. I rolled it in last time. It doesn't look any different, but I really love this blush. It's one of my favorites. Definitely one of my favorites from Kiko as well. I like the two-tone aspect of it. It's a very neutral blush, but you can use this for like a lighter, you know, sort of yellowy blush if you want to, or you can go darker, but I usually just swatch in the middle. But yeah, I used it 10 times. It was a pleasure. I actually kept using it over my other blushes because I was just enjoying it so much. Then I've got my e.l.f. primer here. This one I only need to use 3 more times because I had it in last time. I don't recall if I hit pan. I think I had, but yeah, I used it 3 more times. I've used it 10 times in total. I like this primer. It's a nice primer. And I could easily get through it if I wanted to, but I've just got some others that I neglect, so I need to work on those fast. My Peachy from She Glam is rolling out. This is a face palette. I used it 5 times last month, and I've used it 5 times again this month. I mostly use this shade, I'm not gonna lie. I used that 4 times, and I used this once. This is a really beautiful inner corner, and I think, you know, out of this whole palette, these two would obviously be my favorites, and I could see myself hitting pan in them. I could start seeing the waffling here, and depending on how deep they are, I could probably hit pan on this one just as an inner corner shade. But as a palette, it's rolling out. I really do enjoy it. Next up, I've got two eyeshadow palettes that I was working on the previous months. So I've got my Neon from Primark. This is the orange Neon. This one I only needed to use one more time, but I hadn't used all the shades, so I have used all the shades now. I don't think it looks any different. I'll put up on the screen what it looked like last time, but I don't think it looks any different. I've just used it the once. I mean, I think every shade I used once. I don't even think I used them more than once. So yeah, not a very exciting palette, but to be fair, I'm glad that I did the no pan left behind with this, because I was going to depot this, and I'm happy that I didn't, because I think it is a pretty palette. It's cohesive. It's just the formula isn't the best, but it is what it is. And then next one is the Juvia's Place, the Blushed Rose. I need to use this 2 more times, which I have this month, and I've also used all of the shades at least once. Most notably, I mean, these two, you know, there's a little bit more dips in there. I was a little bit more forceful on those. The mattes don't look like I've touched them at all. They're very hard pressed. But yeah, this is a nice palette. It was on the chopping block. I still could potentially see myself decluttering it. There's nothing actually wrong with it. It just doesn't excite me. And I've got my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. This one I've used 11 times in total, so this one's gonna be rolling out. I've got my Nabla Angel Aura Primer. This one I've used 10 times in total, so this one's rolling out. I do enjoy this. Sorry, there's like a bee outside. I just got distracted. Got my Essence Fixing Spray. This is so light. I wish I'd been able to like finish it, because I actually don't really, I like the formula, but I don't like the spray. The spray bottle basically just spits at your face, and I forgot about that when I rolled it into my stash, but then I remembered that that's what it does. But yeah, not the best in terms of feeling on your face. This one I needed to use 4 more times. I've actually used it 6 more times this month, so I've used it a lot more than my 10 uses. Alright, I've got my Catrice True Skin Concealer. I have been trying to find a lighter shade, because this is my skin tone basically. It's cool cashmere, and I want something just a little bit lighter for more of a brightening effect. It's not very good with brightening, and I do like to brighten my under eyes. So that's the only thing that I have against this, but otherwise I love the consistency. I've got plenty of windowing. I don't know if you're going to be able to see any of that, but I do have plenty of windowing now, so yeah, I'm getting through this one because it's just enjoyable for me, and I used this 20 times this last month, so that one is definitely rolling out. And then I have my NYX Born to Glow foundation. This one I've really enjoyed. I've used it 12 times this month, so this one is also going to be rolling out. All right, I've got 5 items here that I'm going to be rolling out early, and I do have my reasonings for them, and then everything else is just going to be staying in the project, but I will go through them. So the 5 items I'm going to be rolling out early is, the first one is this one basically. It's the Phase Zero blush. This is the Arabian Nights. So if I kept this in, it would be rolling into the 3rd month that I'm working on it, and I just don't want to work on it another month. I do like this blush, but I think the problem is it is clashing with a blush that I'm trying to pan, which is my e.l.f. blush in my Electric Mood Quad. So this one I need to use 8 more times this month. I've used it 4 times. I could potentially keep it in and use it 4 more times, but I really want to finish this blush. And as you can see, they're pretty similar. This is a beautiful blush. Like, I'm not rolling it out because I don't enjoy it. I just really want to finish this. And I've been choosing between the 2 of them. And because this is a blush that I kind of just want to finish and get out of my collection, and this is a blush that I really enjoy, and I'm not trying to pan, I just want to keep it because it's beautiful and there's nothing wrong with it. It's kind of like put me in a hard place. So yeah, I'm gonna be rolling this one out. I've only used it 6 times. I should use it 4 more times, but that's why, because it's clashing. Hopefully that's okay, it doesn't upset anyone. Next up, I'm going to be rolling this one out. So this is the Ofra Duo. I only used it twice last month. It's got a bronzer and a blush. I'm actually just going to be decluttering this. I haven't used it at all this month. I really don't enjoy it. I just think that the tones are off. The blush is okay. The bronzer is just too deep for me and too orangey. So I don't like this as an actual product, and I don't see myself ever wanting to pan it, ever wanting to use it. I mean, I went a whole month and I didn't want to touch it once. So this one is going to be actually decluttered. I will keep it in my collection, but when I get to a declutter video, I'll eventually declutter it, I promise you. Similar, this one is going to be rolling out. So this one I have used quite a bit. So I had it in last month, I used it 4 times. This month I've used it another 4 times. Really only need to use it 2 more times. It's the Hocus Pocus 2, the glossy lip gloss, and it's the We're Young. So it's the, obviously the orange one. This, out of all of the 3 that I have, this is the nicest one in my opinion. And if I put this over a lipstick, it does look quite nice. On its own, it looks trash. I don't like it. But I don't like the taste. I don't like the way it feels. So in terms of how it looks, the only time that I like this is when I put it over a lipstick, and I kind of have to just ignore the fact that I don't like the feeling of it on my lips, which is not ideal because you don't want your lips to feel gross, and this makes my lips feel gross. So I'm rolling it out because I don't want to use it 2 more times, and I think I'm going to have to declutter all 3 of these because I just have not found any reason to keep them other than that they're Hocus Pocus 2 and they came into my collection, and I feel like it's a waste. But I don't like them, so it's kind of annoying that I've come to this conclusion, but I'm not going to force myself to use items I don't like. This is kind of why I do the Project 10 uses, because it makes me realize items that I love in my collection, items that I'm a little bit iffy on, or some items are just more seasonal than others. This one is just an item I do not like, so I'm going to be rolling it out. And then these 2 I really like, but I think just they're more like special shades for me. So this is the NARS Red Lip, the Famous Red, I think. Yeah, Famous Red lip pencil, and it's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. I did use it a few times last month. I used it twice last month. I need to use it 8 more times this month to hit my goal. I have not touched it once because I have not done a red lip. For me, red lips is like I need to be in the mood for a red lip, and I have just not been in the mood for a red lip. So these types of lip products, as beautiful as they are just more of occasional shades for me. Like, I can't wear them day in and day out. So I'm going to be rolling this out because I can just see myself keeping it in for another month and maybe just using it once or twice. And yeah, that could be 2 more uses, but I'd rather roll something in that I'm neglecting even more. So I am going to be rolling this one out, and this is pretty much the same, although this one is just a little bit more unique. Like, I would wear the red over this one. I have worn this in a few videos, and the comments have been, oh, I really love that lip product. And that's nice, but it's still not an everyday shade. This is LA Girl in the shade Surge, and this one I used it once last month, and I've used it once this month. So again, it's more like this occasional color where I'm not going to wear it. I mean, I could worn it today, but it's way more vibrant than what I'm wearing, and I wanted to wear something more muted, and it's just a little bit too out there for me to have it every single day. It's beautiful when I wear it and I feel kind of fun and vibrant, but I don't want to wear it all the time. So it's just when I'm in the mood, and I just can't see myself using it 8 more times in the next month. I think it would just be a waste. So I'm going to be rolling that one out as well. I'm glad that I used it. I know 2 times is nothing, but I hadn't used it in like a year or more. So for me, that's pretty good. All right, these other lip products I'm keeping in because I do see myself using them to 10 uses. So this e.l.f. liquid lipstick, I actually have it on today, and I pair it nicely with this Nomad lip gloss. I had them on today and had them on the other day, and I do enjoy them. So both of these I've used 4 times. The e.l.f. was in the project last month, and I needed to use it 8 times this month. I used it the 4, so I have another 4 uses on it, and this one I have another 6 uses on it. So I think I could definitely do that in a month, and I have been enjoying the combination of these 2, so I'm just going to be keeping them in. Next, I've got my smoothie stick from the Beauty Crop, and I really enjoy this, and it's great for when I'm doing a brownie nude. It kind of just goes with earthy looks if I'm doing a brown look, or if I'm doing a greeny brown look, or anything like that, which a lot of my Pan Those eyeshadows are very earthy and you know, orangey, and this really works out for those types of looks. So I've used it 5 times. Just to use it 5 more times, I'm going to keep it in. And then I've got this one from Becca, which I've used 3 times. This is more of a special shade. It's more of that orange shade, so it kind of leans more into the NARS and the LA Girl shades because it's not a shade that I'm going to wear every single day. However, I want to keep it in because I have only had it in for a month. I want to see how much I can do with it. Those other 2, I had it in for 2 months, so I saw what happened. And I do see myself reaching for this a few more times. So yeah, I'm going to see how it goes. I've used this 3 times, so I need to use it 7 more times. I don't know if we'll do it, but we'll try. Then I've got this one, which is the Douglas All Glow Highlighting Palette. I actually filmed a cheek collection video, and I put this away back in my collection, so it wasn't even in my everyday drawer, so I completely forgot that this was in my Shop My Stash until today. So I have neglected this quite a lot. I did use it 3 times before that happened, but yeah, I need to use it 7 more times. I think I would have used it a lot more had I remembered that it was in this project, but I just didn't remember. So this one's staying in. And then I've got all of my eyeshadow palettes that are staying in. I feel bad because I have neglected these quite a bit. So I pulled the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde last month. I've used this 4 times. With my eyeshadow palettes, I want to use them at least 5 times, but use every shade at least once. So no pan left behind. I was doing 10 times. But I just felt like it was too much, so I reduced it down to 5 times. So 4 times on this palette, so I'm pretty close, but I haven't used all of the shades. However, I have hit pan in one of the shades. I filmed a short, which is actually posted on my channel, and I actually hit pan in this shade, which is called Golden Glitch in that video, which I think was pretty exciting. I already had a really nice dip in it, so I thought I might be close to pan, but it is definitely my favorite shade in the whole palette. It's absolutely stunning. So if I could ever get the shade again or duplicate it, you know, I absolutely would, because I think it's really beautiful. I'll put up on the screen my total uses. I guess you can see between when I rolled it in and now. But yeah, there's some shades that got a little bit more attention than others. This one was rolled into my Zodiac project pan, so I'm actually trying to hit pan in this shade, so I did use it a little bit more than I guess I probably would normally, but otherwise there's still plenty of shades that I haven't touched at all. But I really love this palette, so I don't mind keeping it in for another month. Okay, then we've got the Nomad Cartagena Magic palette. This one I have ignored. I have used it 3 times, but I feel like I haven't used enough of the shades. Well, I definitely haven't, because I've only used the same shades over and over again. So yeah, I've pretty much used maybe this one, and then mostly these shades, I want to say. I'll put up on the screen as well, but definitely need to use the palette a few more times, and I have not used all the shades. I want to do that. I also have this one rolled into my Zodiac Panna, so I'm trying to hit that, and trying to hit pan in that. But I know I used this shade yesterday, and some other shades obviously another time. But yeah, I don't think there's much difference, to be fair, but you'll have to see in the photos. I'll show you, and then you can let me know. But anyway, yeah, I like it, but I feel like I haven't used it enough. Even though it says 3 times, it's 3 different days. I just haven't used all the shades. And then I've got the Yasmin palette from My Other Beauty. Same thing, I've used it 3 times. This one I feel like I have been dipping into it a little bit more, but I have not used all the shades yet. I did a Get Ready With Me, and I used this Annie shade. It's so stunning. It reminds me of how gorgeous these shimmers are. Really, really beautiful. I also have this shade Bark in my Zodiac Panna, so I am trying to pan that, but otherwise, yeah, I've just used it naturally, and you'll be able to see which ones I've used. It's such a pleasure to use this palette. It's definitely by far in my top 10. Sometimes it's in my top 5. I just have to look at all my palettes in my collection. I really, really like this palette. But yeah, haven't used all the shades, so that one's staying in. So those are 3 really beautiful palettes that I'm keeping in. And then I also have my Earthly, which I've been trying to do a no pan left behind. I think I was very optimistic. I think the first month I did really well with this one, where I used a lot of the shades, and I thought, oh yeah, okay, that, you know, I'll do it again next month. And then the next month rolled around, and I've barely touched it. I've used it twice this month. So that's only 2 different looks. and there's 42 shades in here. So yeah, there's plenty of shades that I have yet to touch. I'll put up on the screen which ones I have, but honestly, I don't even think it's going to be very noticeable what the changes on this. I think I did, yeah, I did use these two shades, the reddish shades, and I really didn't enjoy this one down here, which is called Heat, and I think that's a shade that's in the Wilderness palette, and I do recall hearing a lot of people didn't like that red in that palette either. I think it's the same shade. The consistency of it is just different from other shimmers. It's just not the same quality, so I didn't really like that. It's very stiff. But other than that, I don't really recall what else I used in here. Probably just a green or one or two greens. But yeah, plenty of shades still left to use. And to be fair, I haven't even wanted to do any green looks this month. So I've really struggled with this. And I was thinking, well, should I roll it out? But I really don't want to, because I really want to do the No Pan Left Behind. I really want to make sure I've at least tried every shade to see where all the dud shades are. So I'm going to be keeping it in, and I'm going to hope that I can complete it. I mean, I have about, I feel like I have like half of it left to use, which is, that's a lot. That's a lot. So that is the end of this video, but yeah, stay tuned next few days. My Shop My Stash will come out and you'll see everything that I roll in. Now, I am keeping these 4 eyeshadow palettes in the project. I do want to roll in at least 1 palette just because I want to overwhelm myself. No, because I want to keep this fresh and I don't want to get it stale, because I think I'll get bored if that's the case. So don't be alarmed. I will still roll in a new eyeshadow palette. Most likely 1, if I'm crazy enough on the day, maybe 2, because I kind of just want to play around with more of my eyeshadows, and I do have some new ones, which I have used, but you know, I could definitely roll them into the project and use them a little bit more. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and yeah, if you like the video, then like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.